Alright, there we go. There we go. It's having some issues, folks. But now we're working. Wait a minute. What happened to the... What happened to the audio? Come on. Come on. Alright, folks, we're having some problems. Gonna have to give me some moments. Gonna have to give me a moment. Because where'd the sound go? Okay, that should work. Alright, so. It's like I got the stupid thing to work finally. So yes, I will be playing the Reignited trilogy next. And here's why. This will date me a bit, but this is a childhood favorite of mine. And we're starting with the first game, of course, because this is also the very first game I ever completed 100%. It was a simpler time back then.
Thank you for releasing me, Spyro. Free 10 dragons in the Artisan world. Then find the balloonist. He'll transport you to the next world.
What about Nasty Nork? I'm going after him.
Find dragons first. That's all I can tell you.
Sorry about that. Sometimes I have this condition where I take a sip of anything, and then I choke. Also, all that choking gave me the hiccups, so I'm glad to deal with this for a moment. Alright, that should have solved that. Also, I had to switch a couple things. The motion blur in this game is very bad, so I had to get rid of it. Plus, I made the camera active, so now it actively follows Spyro around.
If you prove your worth by rescuing 10 dragons, then you may use this balloon to fly to a new world.
That's one thing I like about the Reignited trilogy, because they actually gave voice acting to the balloonist. The balloonist, they changed based on where you were. All that changed about him was they just had a different scarf color and a name. That's it. So yeah, as you saw, there was a skill point there. That's kind of like an achievement system in this game, where there are certain specific niche things that you have to do. But since I know how to get everything in every level, a lot of things will just kind of happen, and that's one of them.
Cool flash. Do that again.
The
I love his little hop.
passes through a portal in the dragon mouth, but you are not yet ready, Spyro. First, you must complete one of the other artisan lands.
You got to finish that, by the way.
Hey, Spyro, press the jump button twice to glide. And don't be afraid.
Afraid of what?
Falling from high mountain peaks? Plummeting into prehistoric glaciers?
Oh, that.
Also, yeah, the enemies being passive here. Don't get used to it. These enemies are called Norks, which have to be... They're a combination of gnome and orc, which is kind of contradictory in its own right, and their leader is called Nasty Nork. Now, unfortunately, we missed the opening cutscene when I was having some technical issues, but it's pretty easy to find on YouTube these days. So... maybe on post I'll try to splice it in, but we'll see. And that's 100% of the level, I believe. No, wait, there's one more dragon. So every world has a set amount of gems, a set amount of dragons, sometimes an other collectible, which we'll get to in a moment.
Where's Nasty Nork? I'll torch him.
Keep your horns on, Spyro. You have much to learn first. Do you know what the dragonfly following you is doing?
His
name is Sparks, and he's helping and protecting you. Keep an eye on him and see what I mean.
And I like how, because this is a different time period, they're able to make the dragons far more expressive than they used to be. Plus, I like some of their redesigns. But, that first dragon, when he said... that first dragon, Nestor, when he said, "Thank you for releasing me," get used to hearing that. And then these little loading screens, you get to, just do a couple weird things. It should load pretty quickly, though, because... using a much different computer than I did when I was testing this game. Maybe. Well, it's definitely faster than my PS4 was, I'll say that much. Alright, so... Stonehill. This is a rather more expansive level than the homeworld is. And there are enemies that will hurt you. These rams will hurt you if you don't attack back at them. But one thing that the original has a charm to. So the rams actually sound like, well, rams. But in the original, they kind of had a weird... They had some voice acting for certain characters, and the rams are one of them.
Watch the dragonfly, Spyro. His color indicates his power. When he eats butterflies, he stays strong, like me.
Sure.
Okay, Scott Steiner. Anyway, where was I? Oh yeah, so some of the voices for certain characters, such as the Rams, they just went kind of like, oh, oh. Yeah. Of course, you gotta remember, this game was originally made in 1997, I think? It's either 97 or 98. I think it's 98 because they had subsequent releases for every game.
When you free a dragon or step on one of their platforms, you're saving your progress. That could be useful if you run into trouble. Not that you ever run into trouble, Spyro.
I like how it looks like these dragons have their own hobbies, like he seems to be a watchmaker. That's a cool idea. Now, one thing the Reignited trilogy does not have over the originals is controls are a little wonkier in this version.
After you've freed all the dragons, pass through this fancy vortex thingamajigger. It'll take you back to the artisan home. But first, let me tell you a story.
No thanks. See ya!
Also, one thing I will say is, no disrespect to Tom Kenny, very talented voice actor, but there was some charm to the original game where it was Carlos Alice Rocky was the original actor for Spyro. And there was more charm to him. Not that Tom Kenny isn't charming in his own right, but I kind of associate Spyro 1 with Carlos versus Spyro's 2 and 3 with Tom Kenny. Because some of his deliveries do leave a bit to be desired. Okay, I've already been here. And there are some secrets here and there in every other level. The artisans are pretty straightforward, but as a kid, I never understood this level. And as I mentioned, this game was made in 1998, so I didn't exactly have the funds to, you know, buy a strategy guide for games. I know, what a concept. So, from a bygone era. But I never knew that you could do... Well, I'll show you in a moment.
Spyro, my friend, how about a hint on gliding?
You bet!
For the longest glide, press the jump button at the top of your jump, and try pressing the action button to drop down mid-flight.
Turn up the game volume a bit. Maybe. Now I think I'll lower it back down. Just gotta turn my headphones up a bit. One sec. But yeah, as you saw there, when I was a kid, I could not figure this out for the life of me. I didn't realize that you could glide here because, well, I don't know if it'll show me here. No. But it wasn't blatantly obvious. And for the longest time, you there. Come here. This is an egg thief, by the way. These are the other collectibles that I mentioned. And these guys are a little faster than they were in the original. I have noticed this. So yeah, those are the other collectibles. Certain levels have dragon eggs in them. But what I meant was, I never understood barriers or invisible walls. So I just figured that this area was out of bounds many, many years ago. Until I thought, that looks like I can make that. So through trial and error, I finally made it onto this hillside and finally completed the game. This was the one level that held me up. How weird is that to point out? Considering this is like one of the intro levels. Anyway, 200 gems, 4 dragons, I've already found all of them. And 1 dragon egg. Pretty straightforward level. And this is essentially level 1 of this game. Of course, I always did the levels out of order when I was a kid. Because I thought you were supposed to do, well, we'll go the second level first instead of this one. And then this level was supposed to be next. How little I knew back then. Okay, so here's a neat mechanic. If you click the left joystick, Sparks will point out... Sparks the Dragonfly there will point out a gem to you that you may have missed. Which, that is a godsend in this game, because it never existed until the second game. Alright, so the level's done. So, we just head back here, and head back to the home world. Now, I don't know how far I'm going to get in 2.5 hours, but we will see. Wow, returning to the home world was very quick. I'm impressed. Okay, so yeah, any enemies you defeated before drop these particles, I guess. What they do is, if they form like a little ring around Spyro, and then once you complete that ring, you get an extra life. On top of the extra lives that you get anyway, plus you also get extra lives from doing skill points. I don't think there are any more skill points in the Artisans, but there's something that I will show you as soon as the next level loads. Man, that used to take forever. Alright, so you open this guidebook here. And then press Y there, and it says skill points. Ah, I missed one. Oh well, I'll go back and find it. I'll point it out where it is. Anyway, this is Dark Hollow. I always thought that this was the first level of the Artisan's World. Besides the home world, obviously. And one thing I love about this version is that the aesthetics. I mean, this is like an old library. And I like that. They never really clued in what this place was back then. It was just very bland green surroundings. Anyway, these Norks add a new mechanic where they have these metallic shields which repel flames, which that doesn't make much sense to me. And then these guys used to give me issues too until I found out, yeah, just flame them in their butts. It's hilarious. But they actually can't hurt you. I don't think these guys can hurt you. Yeah, they just knock you back. I never knew that that's what you were supposed to do with those guys. But yeah, see how this area is like a giant library? There was nothing here. It was a very unremarkable room.
Spyro, want to know a secret? Use the action button when you want to zoom in and look around.
Oh, your secret's safe with me.
To prevent confusion, because I'm using an Xbox controller, it's always the top button on the face buttons. So Y, X, triangle, it depends on which game console you're playing. Here's the key to that chest. I recommend you come here first and use that little trick I showed you for those giant Norks. Oh yeah, I guess I forgot to mention that too. So, these frogs are what's considered fodder. What I mean by that is, your dragonfly friend here indicates your hit points. When he's gold, you can take 3 hits. If he's blue, 2 hits. Green, 1 hit, then he vanishes. Then what happens is, if you take a hit when he's not there, you die. You lose a life. Also, here's a new mechanic as well. These big dudes, you have to flame them. Charging does nothing to them. Whereas the opposite occurs with these guys with metal shields. You have to charge at them. Which, sadly, the dragons will tell you about over and over again.
Oh, it's you. I wasn't sure if you'd escaped those annoying little creatures. Of course they wouldn't bother me, but here's a hint. Their metal armor is fireproof, but a charge attack will take care of them.
Okay. Also, I love the bass line. It also helps that the person that did the music for this game is his name's Stuart Copeland. You know what? I'm going to turn off something. Just get the music as is. Oh yeah, that's another thing. If those guys have their backs turned to you, you can flame them as well. But the music is made by Stuart Copeland of The Police. The group, that is. A little bit of interesting trivia. And yes, he did come back to do this version of the game.
Big enemies like this Nork with the club cannot be charged, but a quick flame, that should defeat them.
Alas, poor Yorick. I knew him well. So, why was that guy not earlier in the level? Okay, this is where Sparks' little ability comes in handy. How did I miss that? Anyway, one thing I also miss is sometimes I enjoy the way that some of the dragons speak in the original. That guy, Darius, was one of them. I think it was like he spoke extremely fast and pronounced Nork Gnork. You can tell that guy had no direction. It was like, big enemies like this Gnork with the club cannot be charged, but a quick flame, that should do the trick. And I was like, what did he just say? And then fun fact, in the demo, he actually wasn't there. The demo for Spyro the Dragon 1, he was not actually in that level. Okay, next. Oh yeah. Real quick, I'm going to show where this skill point is. This hidden pink tulip. Stonehill team seems to take a while to load. I'm noticing. Oh yeah, yes, you can chase down the egg thief again. He doesn't drop an egg though, he just gives you one of those little orbs. Okay. It's around these little castle pieces here. There it is. Just torch it and you get a skill point. Easy. Torch. That's the word I need to use. Torch. Oh yeah, another thing, these fairies,
Hi, Spyro.
you can replay the dragon that you released here. Not that they're super helpful, but she also saves your progress. Okay, next level is called Town Square. Hopefully I don't choke this time. Talking as much takes its toll on you, and you need to keep some water around. So, one thing I will point out is the water graphics are amazing for this game. But, that's a bone I have to pick at a later time. I have a bone to pick with water in this game, in this series.
Welcome to Town Square, Spyro. Begin exploring by gliding to that area with the bulls. Use the right stick to get a good look.
I expect him to sound more posh than that. Oops, he knocked his sculpture over. So, trick for a skill point here. Or achievement, rather. What just happened there? Do not torch the bulls. Just ram into them. Because, there's an achievement where if you just leave them stuck like that, it's actually pretty funny. So they changed where this guy is. You could actually glide right into him, and then he will send you to your death. If you moved just in the right way in the original.
Thanks, Spyro. I had the worst itch on the tip of my wing. Did you know that you get your longest glides by pressing the jump button at the very top of your jump?
Thanks, Spyro. How would he have known that already? Los Matadore. Or La Matadore. Hitboxes seem a little off.
Spyro, did you see a man dressed in blue running around here? He's a thief, and he's stolen a dragon egg. You've got to track him down and get that egg. Run, run! I'm getting a little winded.
Why did that cleaver sound like glass when it hit the ground? That's not how metal sounds on stone. Okay, now, this was another thing that tripped me up. I could never figure this out either, as a kid. And sometimes it doesn't always work. So ignore the chest and just gun it after this guy. Chest, I mean gems. Got him as he was jumping down. Cool. So what normally happens is he'll jump down there where you cannot get him. And then if you jump down after him, he'll jump back up here and then run back and continue to taunt you. With the nah. Some of the egg thieves are pretty mean. Also, that tip that Alvar gave you, yeah, jumping at the very top of your jump makes it so you can actually make these jumps. Skill point. Now, these chests are kind of funny. How they work is you have to torch them a few times so the lid falls off, and then you get the gem out of it. Now, what normally happens too is that lid, it used to go farther in the original, and you could use it to snipe certain enemies later on in a level. But now it's not really the case. It just goes in a forward direction, not very far, not very high. Anyway.
Thank you for releasing me, Spyro. You can always track your progress by accessing the guidebook through the pause menu.
Okay, now his dialogue changed. Back in the original, all he said was, "Thank you for releasing me." Instead, he gave you a tip on something that was not in the original, the guidebook. Okay, so Artisans has 3 worlds, and I think that's the case for most of the levels, if not all of the levels. There are 3 levels throughout, a flying level, which I will show you now, and a boss level. I normally like to do it in order with the 3 levels, then the flight level, then the boss. Now, you really don't get a tip on this until much, much later. But through trial and error, I never even knew about this. I just did it randomly one day. So if you jump on these stones once each, it opens a secret passageway that leads to the flying level. I just got an achievement for that. Okay, now I think there's a skill point if you do it just in... No, wait. I know where it is. Never mind. Never mind. So, flight levels. How this works is a time trial. You have a certain amount of time to do certain objectives. I'm going to show you the fastest way that I found out when I was a kid of how to do all of this. Also, I will warn you, Spyro is inverted in this mode. I love how he does that little gesture whenever, that little roll in midair whenever you complete whatever objective you were doing. So yeah, as you can see as I'm flying through these, they say +3. That's how much extra time you get. Also, I know there's going to be a reference, because I'm flying through rings to ultimately do nothing. Okay, so tip I have for you here. Do not finish the archers. Just get this one and start torching the planes. That saves you a lot of time and a lot of headaches if you just go for the planes immediately. And then finish off the archers. And that's how you do it. Alright. And as you can see, it's divided. You get 60 gems for completing each one, then you get a bonus for doing it all at once. And that's how you get the treasure for these levels. Now, there is a skill point. Well, I don't know if it's a skill point, it's an achievement, I think. Where you have to go through these archways. And try not to give Spyro a concussion at the same time. So, you press R1 to loop around these bridges. And then that's how you get the achievement, but I gotta be able to actually do this. I seem to be getting the height wrong. Yeah, I seem to be getting the height wrong when I'm doing this. Also, I will be alluding more to R1, L1 because this game series was originally on the PS1. Because Spyro was originally going to be like one of Sony's mascots. But here's the problem. As time goes on, you eventually lose your mascots. That's why Nintendo had success, because they had several. It wasn't just Mario. They had Link, they had Kirby, they had all sorts of extra mascots. Whereas Sony always had Nintendo. Sony always had Nintendo. Sony had Spyro and Crash Bandicoot. And because of that, fatigue started setting in because they were the same games over and over. So you're supposed to do this twice. But, as you can see, I'm very bad at it. Oh, if you hit the water, you just lose the level immediately. It counts as crashing. Now, the original used to be cruel. If you crashed, you lost a life. Yeah. The original was that cruel. Okay, so I guess that's not in this version, but yeah, that's what you're supposed to do. Okie dokie. Now, next I like to do the boss level. So, the boss levels are completely optional. You don't have to do them. All you had to do was rescue 10 dragons. By the way, this guy says something else. So I actually recommend you replay him.
Cool flash. Do that again.
The artisan's boss is through a portal behind me. You can challenge him now, if you feel you are ready.
Yes, they change his dialogue just because you finally finished one of the artisan worlds. Toasty, the first boss of the game. Is there a skill point for it? No, there isn't. Okay. So, skill points for bosses can be kind of cruel, where you have to take no damage. Easier said than done in this level. You'll see what I mean. It's those dogs. Fortunately, these guys never appear in any other level, but they take 2 hits. You have to torch them twice. The first time, the hitboxes are weird too. on you. You have to get out of the way immediately. And then some of the placements are kind of jerkish, like here. Also, them looking like sheepdogs makes more sense. In the original, they looked like wolves. Which, well, you know, limitations. But them looking like sheepdogs makes way more sense. Considering you're fighting these shepherd enemies. I would have loved for this level to have been cruel, though. You have to beat it perfectly. Also, yes, the Artisan boss realm, I guess, is like where they rule. That's my theory on all of the boss realms. This is where the kingdom that you're saving actually rules from. Because why would all their artwork be put on display? Also, I will warn you, one thing that's cruel about these dogs. There's one here that will almost always get you. And that's him. The other thing is, there is no fodder in this level. So if you get hurt, you do not recover any health. Just bear that in mind.
Nasty Nork has put one of his most devious henchmen in charge of the artisan world.
Bring him on! I think I smell a barbecue.
Be careful, Spyro. Toasty has many tricks up his sleeve.
I love how they even called it a boss in the original. He just says, this boss has many tricks up his sleeve. So, this is the boss. He seems kind of passive. What was that? It was just a sheep on stilts this whole time. I have heard that Toasty here is a result of Spyro getting, that sheep in particular, getting annoyed with Spyro harassing sheep. It's where the bull lead becomes the bully. Okie dokie. So that finishes the first world. Very short. So on to the next one.
Wow! I see you've been busy rescuing dragons, Spyro. You may travel to the Peacekeeper's world if you like. Are you ready to go?
And then you jump on his head, onto his balloon, and he doesn't pilot it. So how does that work? I guess there is only room for one in it, but again, how does that work? Also, I don't know why it's spinning, I'm sorry. Anyway, Peacekeepers. These guys are apparently the military of the Dragon World.
Welcome to Peacekeepers. Look how our treasure has been stolen and turned against us. Please, recover our treasure, Spyro.
Collect treasure. Got it.
And supposedly the first dragon you run into is the leader of that particular nation. So, these guys aren't as funny as they were in the original. These guys are, though. The Cannoneers. After you attack them, they salute and then fall over. I find that funny. Oh, it's war you want, huh? Okay. Dry Canyon, that's another world. After you defeat that guy, the other guys hide, and this is actually funny. When you look at them, they're scared, but when you turn your back to them, they moon you. Yes, I am not joking. It's actually funny that they do. Also, I think there's a skill point for it, torching all the tents. Alright. Now blast our way through. Yes, I was trying to attack the dragon. Didn't work. And then those chests are reinforced, so you have to blow them open. And that's one way to beat those chests. It's an extra life. Thank you very much. Not that I need any more.
Hey, Spyro. Sparks the Dragonfly has been doing a good job protecting you. Make sure to keep him strong by feeding him lots of butterfly.
Alright, big boy. Sound device. Yeah, there's a bit of a bug there. That gem has always been bugged in these versions of the game.
The Magic Crafter's world is far away and very dangerous. Maybe if you find 1,200 stolen treasure, I'll show it to you.
Yeah, that's one thing that's kind of funny I want to point out. The fact that apparently Nasty, after crystallizing all the dragons, somehow found the time to attempt to steal all the treasure. Yeah, that's how those chests work. You attack it, then the gem hops up, then you got collected before it goes back down. Sadly, those chests never appear in another game. Because they're not a bad idea. Because it gives you an idea of, hey, these are cut gems. Always forget these two. Hey, an egg thief. Ha!
Well done, Spyro. Keep up the good work, and I know you'll fulfill your destiny.
Destiny? I just want to kick some.
Just toast those enemies and collect the treasure.
Alright. And there's, honestly, I found this secret accidentally. I was like, can I actually make that? It's not much of a secret, but I was like, why is there a key and where's the chest? That bothered me for so long. Now, normally I do not make this. Hey! First time for everything. Okay, now these levels can be kind of ridiculous if you're wanting to collect everything. But the game stops playing around with you once you get to the... I would debatably say the fourth world, because this game's not particularly difficult. The first three worlds, I mean, there are some spikes in the next world, but this one's not too bad. So, in the original, you used to be able to torch this chest, and the lid would pop up and attack that guy. You can't do that in this version because it doesn't go that far. But it was hilarious how weird the trajectory was back then. So 500 gems, 1 dragon egg, and I think 3 dragons? No, 4 dragons. And there's one in this level that's particularly difficult to find. I never understood how to get to this dragon until YouTube first became a thing. It was always creeping up in the back of my mind for all these years. I take that back, actually. There are... Thanks! Yeah, sometimes you can do that. You can trick them to hurt their own allies or open chests for you.
Oh. Thank you for releasing me, Spyro.
And yeah, he just said thank you for releasing me, but at least he changed it up a bit. That's animal cruelty. Come on now. Not the vultures so much, but just what those Norks do to attack you. Ow. Jerk. Okay, so, for the longest time, this was always so tantalizing to me. The key to the chest in the level and a dragon that I could never seem to get to. And they taunt you with it at the end of the level. It kind of looks like you can make that, but don't try it, you can't. So I kept racking my brain about how to do it, and then eventually once YouTube started becoming a thing, I saw a guide on how to do it.
Dry Canyon rewards good gliders. You are a good glider, eh, Spyro?
I was born to glide.
That guy had a rattle tail. So what you're supposed to do is glide here. And then from here, you glide and hug this wall right here, and that's how you get it. I could never figure that out.
incredible glide, Spyro. I thought I'd be stuck here forever with those ugly vultures standing on my head. Those birds might look tough, but they're pretty tasty. Flame broiled with a pinch of salt.
If you say so. It probably tastes like chicken. Wow, that was just awful. Alright. So yeah, that is how you recover health if you ever take any hits. Oh, that would have been beautiful, but nope. That's not how that works. Eee!
Is that you, Spyro? Are you the young dragon I've been hearing so much about? Ever since you were a wee puff of smoke, we've known,
You've known...
I forget.
It never gets easier, buddy. I can say that with experience, unfortunately. Being old and forgetful, I've gotten to the point where I will forget why I even went into a room in the first place. So yeah, the chests that you get the extra lives in, I guess they're supposed to be mimics, but... Well, what just happened? One moment. That was strange. Okay. It's probably a setting that I don't know about. I'm going to have to look more into it. Probably let it go idle for too long. Since I'm not actively clicking on it, maybe I'll have to figure that out in post. Nope. First death, folks. First death. Yes. In lower, I will warn you, in some lower versions of this game, yeah, there's a loading screen to recover from dying. It's very cruel. This is what I mean by the controls are kind of wonky compared to the original, because I could make that very easily in the original, but sometimes that just happens. I still have my original copy of these games. I didn't own Spyro 3 until recently, though, because I was that, I practically owned a toaster when I was younger, let me put it that way. Nothing compared to what I have now. Okay, my bad. There's 400 gems in this level. I thought there were 5. Oh well. So that's the level. But my disc was so messed up for Spyro 1 that the music doesn't even play in this level. The level works, it just didn't play any music. Okay, next level. It's Cliff Town over here. Alright, before we get too into the level, I'm going to check a few settings real quick to make sure that that doesn't happen. How it just kind of went out for a moment. Okay. I don't know what happened there exactly. But anyway. I never really understood what these guys were, but thanks to this game, the Matadors. There's a very Spanish, heavily Spanish influence on these games. I never noticed that when I was younger. Anyway, there's these guys, and then these characters are known as Big Mamas. They don't hurt you. They just smack you away. And then there's Soup. Go ahead and light it up, because then you get a gem out of it. Not making any remarks. We're not that kind of channel. Also, these lizards have a little personality. They used to just run around and do nothing. Now they hiss at you, which is actually kind of funny. I think same thing as Dry Canyon. 4 dragons, 1 dragon egg, 400 gems. Pretty simple level. And this is what I mean by I think the egg thieves are a little faster. Because you have to cut them off. Huh. Never realized in Cliff Town they used the baseline for Dark Hollow.
How's a dragon supposed to flame metal armor anyway?
Remember, Spyro, flame won't work on metal, but charging with your horns, that should do the trick.
Nice Warhammer, by the way. Okay. I thought that was just death. Down below. Nope. Yeah, this place has a very Spanish design for a town. I like it. What? What was that?
Hey, what's on the other side of that river?
Why don't you glide there and find out?
I used to hate that guy in the original because he just sounded so rude. He was like, "Why don't you glide there and find out?" Ugh. That's what he sounded like. So I'm glad they redid his line. Okay, this was another level I could never complete when I was younger, because I never knew about this. But one thing I will recommend, activate the dragon immediately.
You've reached the highest point in Clifftown. You can get to almost anywhere from here. If I were you, I'd use that whirlwind over there.
Metal wings. I like that. Okay, so there are actually gems behind the entrance of the level. So what you gotta do is, yes, you have to glide from here and then go behind it. And not get swallowed by a sandstorm while you're at it. And then, this is why I recommend you trigger the dragon, because now you can get back up here. The whirlwind does not activate until you talk to that dragon. Marco is his name. Alright. Like, I figured this out. Used to be able to cheese that, but I guess he can't anymore. And that's how you open this chest. I'll be lazy. That should be it. Yep. So 400 gems, 3 dragons, and 1 dragon egg. Oh wow. So I'm not remembering these levels perfectly. Oh well. But at least I know where to go. Okay, next level. We, under normal circumstances, would be angry. It's an ice level. Now, this ice level does not suck. I know. Shocker. This level is actually very neat. Also, here's a little trick that I never knew. But I'll show you, but I'll backtrack and show you what I mean soon enough. You know the drill by now. The little guys you can charge. The big dudes you have to torch.
A word of caution, little one. Wait until you grow big, like me, before charging those large enemies.
I like to see like a sumo fight between him and between these adult dragons and the big Norks.
Spyro, some big Norks up ahead are wearing armor, and in the ice cave, armor can make their feet very slippery.
As a hint, a useful dragon. And then, yeah, these poles have gems on them. You have to charge at them. So how you're actually supposed to progress through this level is you're supposed to go this way and then deal with these guys. So yeah, that's your hint. Normally you wouldn't charge big guys, but these guys are an exception. And that's how you beat them. These guys you still have to torch, but any of the big guys wearing armor, that's what you have to do against them. Some big Norks. There was only one. Ladies and gentlemen, the most boring dragon in the game.
Thank you for releasing me.
Yep, that's it. Yes, you can actually charge at his snowballs and they do nothing to you. It's actually kind of pathetic.
Freeing me, Spyro. And now, where was I?
Now later on, because the dragons can't really give you any hints, they mostly just say thank you for releasing me. So yes, there are 3 lives up here. And I regret to inform you that this level encourages backtracking. So, what we gotta do is, yes, we have to backtrack. First, I'm going to backtrack to the beginning of the level and show you how to get those 3 lives. I could never figure it out until one day I just decided to, why didn't I use the same concept I did with when I found out how to get that dragon in Dry Canyon? So you jump up here, and then you go here, and then glide around here, hugging this ice wall, and that's how you get them. And you get a nice 3-up. Very generous. Now I have to backtrack again because you've got to go get the key, and then you have to backtrack again to open the chest with the key. Yeah, that's the only gripe I have with this ice level. They did this ice level well. If it weren't for the backtracking. Now granted, it's not a huge level, and I appreciate that. There are some games that are obnoxious with backtracking. Anyway, 400 gems, 4 dragons, no dragon eggs. That'd be mean to put a dragon egg in an ice level, but they have done that before. Put some sort of collectible in an ice level. That would be very hard to get because the conditions favor the enemies. Okay, so next, you'll notice these gems up here on these platforms. And if you go over here, you'll see that there is a dragon up there. But let me back up a bit. There's a dragon up there. So, what you gotta do is, you gotta do a little platforming now. Ah, there's more of those Norks with armor. Achievement. I think that's defeat all the skiing Norks without getting hit by a snowball. Also, be careful with these ones because if you go in that ooze down there, it's instant death. So just lightly tap the joysticks. Okay.
You've done well, Spyro. Some dragons thought you weren't ready, but I knew they were wrong.
I'm ready, all right. Ready for what?
All right, and we're done. Then, of course, we do the flight level and then the boss. The flight level was just up here. So the first theme was sunny. Now we're flying at night. The challenge begins by flying through rings. Where have I seen that before? And why does that make me angry? So there is an achievement with this level. But I'm just going to show you the time trial first because we're on a time limit. The times when we're not on time limits, I will show you how to get the achievements. If these flight levels have them. So what I recommend is this order. It's not the fastest way, but it's the easiest way because it's set in a linear path for you. And there's just enough time to do it all. Perfect. Okay, so the achievement. Go ahead and start the level normally. Just go ahead and fly through the rings, and then as soon as you fly through the rings, you'll see this fairy up here. Maybe. Hello? Alright, guess I have to actually start doing the level. Okay. Yes, attack the fairy. Fairies! Attacking fairies when Carlos Alazraqui first voiced Spyro the Dragon. For those who don't know, Carlos Alazraqui also plays Denzel Crocker in The Fairly Odd Parents. Couldn't help but think there were three fairies in this level. Oh well. Anyway. Back we go. Okay, I gotta make sure there's no skill points. Okay, now you see there where it says perfect. That means you have to defeat these bosses without taking damage. Now, I don't think it counts in the level in general, but I'm going to be careful. But, yes, the second boss of the game is called Dr. Shemp. But, in the Japanese version of this game, he has a different name. It's Dr. Cool. And you'll understand what I mean soon enough. Also, Eclipse. That's interesting. Solar Eclipse. Okay, these guys are suicide attackers. If they don't attack you, yes, they just jump off a cliff. That's some cruel and unusual punishment. Ah, crud. I don't know if that counts or not. If it does, oh well. I'll just redo the level. I think it's you just can't take any damage from the boss, at least I hope that's the case. Okay, now do you understand why this guy is known as Dr. Cool?
Dr. Shemp thinks he's so cool. You don't know what it's been like listening to him over and over. But I tell you one thing, he should watch his back.
So this is actually kind of funny. He's got Torch's backside. Not the most original concept, but yes, you just have to torch his backside. And that actually looked familiar, because that is the same attack pattern that Papu Papu from Crash Bandicoot uses. Okay, so it's just the boss, it's not the level. Good to know. Good to know. Alright, folks. I am going to get us to the next world, and I believe that is where I'm going to end things off for the evening. So, just go ahead and get there now. Because I've been talking for quite a while, because I know a lot about these games. Like I said, Spyro was my childhood. So,
I can't believe how hop aboard for the Magic Crafter's world if you're ready. Whoa.
apparently that's just a thing that happens now. It just rotates the camera as you're moving. I'm not sure I like that. Anyway. Okay, so we've made it to the Magic Crafter's world. Well, folks, that is where I'm going to end things off. So, until next time, we will be beating this game, because this game's notoriously short. And we'll be moving right on to the next one. I'm going to play the entire trilogy, and you're going to hear how I feel about some certain levels, too. So, until next time, Ryuno Kage signing off.